Hey guys, I made a wooden frame with a mini macrame hanging planter, and here's what I did. For the frame, I used square dowels that were 5/8 of an inch. I used 2 pieces that were 10 inches and 2 that were 8 3/4 of an inch. When you put them together, they form a 10 by 10 inch square. I glued the 4 pieces together and added painter's tape to hold them together until the glue dried. Remove the tape and sand the frame. I used a 3/16 of an inch dowel to secure the corners. I cut the dowel into smaller pieces. Then I drilled the holes. I added glue to the dowel and placed it in the hole. Wipe the extra glue and cut the extra piece of dowel if necessary. Repeat this with the rest of the corners and sand the frame. For the base, I use this piece of wood. This will be indoors, so I don't need to worry about the wind. If you plan to make one for the outdoors, consider using a thicker and heavier base. I mark the center of the base to know where to glue the frame. I added 2 dowels to the bottom to secure the frame to the base. I also marked the top center of the frame. Next, drill the holes. Then glue and add the dowels. I cut an extra piece of dowel, which will be used to hang my macrame planter from the top. I use this twine that I got from Target as my mini macrame cord. I cut a 5-foot piece and unravel the metallic gold part. I used 4 pieces of 5-foot twine and cut an extra piece to make gathering knots. Fold the 4 pieces of twine in half to find the center. Then tape it down. Next, make a square knot. To do this, make a number 4 with the left cord over the 2 middle cords and under the right. Bring the right cord through the loop created and pull it tight. Then do the opposite. Make a backwards 4 with the right cord over the 2 middle cords and under the left. Bring the left cord through the loop created and pull it tight. I made 3 square knots. Turn it over and make 3 more square knots, starting with the backwards 4. Align the ends of the 6 square knots. Make a gathering knot with the extra cord. To do this, make a U shape with the extra cord. Wrap the longer end around the U and all the cords. I wrapped mine 6 times. Then place the end through the loop created and pull the other end of the cord to tighten it. Next, cut the extra cord. Separate the cords into 4 sections. Each section should have 2 cords. Take one section and make alternating half-hitch knots. To do this, make a number 4 with the left cord over the right. Place the end through the loop created and pull it tight. Then do the opposite. Make a backwards 4 with the right cord over the left. Place the end through the loop created and pull it tight. I made 6 alternating half-hitch knots. Then I strung a bead through both cords. I made 6 more alternating half-hitch knots and repeated this with the other 3 sections. For the planter, I use this glass container. I wanted the macrame planter to be a bit lower, so I added another bead to each section, along with 6 more alternating half-hitch knots. I took a cord from one section and another cord from the section next to it. I measured 2 inches and taped the cords down. I made 1 alternating half-hitch knot and repeated this with the other sections. Then I measured 1 inch and made another round of alternating half-hitch knots. The macrame loop was too thick for the hole at the top, so I strung the extra cord through the loop, brought the ends of the cord through the hole, and around the piece of dowel. I tied a triple knot and shifted it so that the knot wouldn't show. I grouped all the cords 1.5 inch down. Then I made another gathering knot with the extra cord. I added the container to see if it fit, and I cut the extra cords near the bottom. I decided to stain it in the color Special Walnut to match the beads. It's a little lighter than my usual stain, which is dark walnut. I'll eventually coat it with polyacrylic protective finish. Add your plant and your wooden frame with a mini macrame hanging planter is done.